Day one of Giants minicamp just wrapped up, and we got some major news to talk about. Abdul Carter was unblockable. We got a Jalin Hyatt injury update. We're going to talk about Jaxson Dart and Russell Wilson and so much more. But first, I am calling on all of the real ones to help me out. My guy Tom Downey, the host of the Dallas Cowboys Report here at Chat Sports, he was kind of talking noise about the New York Giants, so I started to talk noise back about the Cowboys, and he pretty much let me know, pipe down. We've got more than 3 times the amount of subscribers that you do on that channel. So I told him to go F himself. And he said, I bet you can't even get 3,000 likes on today's show. I hate the Cowboys, and I want to prove Tom Downey wrong. So if you love the Giants and you hate the Cowboys and you want to stick it to Tom, hit that thumbs up icon right now. Welcome into New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Minicamp Day 1 is in the books for Big Blue, and we got to talk about all of it. It was a really good practice. I thought there was some encouraging things coming out of that, and Abdul Carter, he looks as good as advertised. Multiple people in attendance pretty much said he was unblockable. Let's start with some housekeeping notes, as the New York Giants had perfect attendance at mandatory minicamp, which is always a good thing to see. The day and age of Kadarius Toney not showing up to mandatory minicamp after the Giants just hired a new coach is in the past. Good to see that everybody was there. Let's talk about the 3rd overall selection in round 1 out of Penn State, Abdul Carter. This guy, I feel like, has flown under the radar a little bit due to the Giants trading back into round 1 to select Jaxson Dart. There's been a lot of chatter and a lot of hoopla about him, and deservedly so. I don't want to minimize what Jaxson Dart has done and will do for this organization, but it's pretty rare that you see the number 3 overall pick not being talked about all that much. And on today's show, I just want to give the man his flowers because I believe he is a generational talent, and we're starting to see what he can do to affect this team and get him some more W's. Connor Hughes, who covers the Giants, tweeting out, Abdul Carter is having a very active day. Already had 2 would-be sacks, nearly had a 3rd here on Jaxson Dart. He might be very good. He then quote tweeted that minutes later saying, and Carter again. That's 3 straight disruptions on Jaxson Dart. Abdul Carter is in the backfield almost instantly, ruining this series. Not Dart's fault. Doesn't stand a chance. So much speed off of the edge. And that's what you want to hear about Abdul Carter. That's why he went number 3 overall in the 2025 NFL Draft. And he wasn't done there. 3 sacks were not enough for Carter, saying Abdul Carter with another sack. He came around flying off the edge. Looked like he got past Jermaine Illuminor. James Hudson might have jumped on the other side. Carter's speed is jarring, and that is one thing that popped off the page to me when I watched the tape when he played in the Big Ten. He just moved a little bit different. He got from point A to point B a little bit quicker than anybody else on that field, and that's why people talked about him being a generational talent coming out of the draft. Patricia Traina also pretty much just backdooring what Connor Hughes said, saying Abdul Carter has been living in the backfield this practice. And that's what you're going to need if this Giants team is going to be competitive this season. You need immediate return on investment from Abdul Carter. And if the Giants are going to be successful, he needs to be in the running for Defensive Rookie of the Year. And I expect that to happen. This guy is special. I know the offensive line doesn't have pads on, and there are no pads on and things of that sort, but I don't want to minimize what this guy is doing. What we are seeing him do is rare this early on as a rookie. Connor Hughes saying this after practice. First day of Giants minicamp is over, and it would be impossible to talk about this afternoon without mentioning rookie first-round pick Abdul Carter. He was an absolute monster. Yes, there are no pads. Yes, that puts the defense at an advantage. It does not matter. His speed around the outside, his bend, his versatility to rush inside, outside, it is undeniable and jarring at times. There was a series, second-team defense versus second-team offense, and Jaxson Dart where Abdul Carter single-handedly ruined 3 of the 4 plays by getting to Dart before he was able to plant his back foot. He also made plays with the starters against Russell Wilson. I had him unofficially for 4 sacks. That is absolutely noteworthy. Can't wait to see what this guy does once the pads do come on. And look, this is why you draft Abdul Carter. I've got chills running down my spine reading that from Connor Hughes. This is the first piece to what I believe is going to be, hopefully, fingers crossed, a long run of the Giants being dominant on the defensive side of the ball. You pair a guy like Abdul Carter on the opposite side of Brian Burns. We know Kayvon Thibodeau is still there, and you got the best nose tackle in the National Football League in Dexter Lawrence. I always think it's a little bit noteworthy when rookies play well in minicamp or training camp, but when you have veterans, guys that have been in this league, someone like Kayvon Thibodeau that's already posted an 11.5 sack season, when he is singing the praises of a guy like Abdul Carter, that is awesome. Here's him talking about Russell Wilson as well, saying he is that guy. He has a great opportunity to lead us. Kayvon was also very complimentary of Abdul Carter, saying that he's just a little bit different. He's someone that's going to help this team as well. So you have Kayvon on the mic talking about Russell Wilson, but he also talked about how Abdul Carter was a really special player and how he's going to help this defense overall. And it's going to be tough for opposing offensive lines to stay in front and keep time in the pocket for their quarterbacks to work. You look at a guy like Brian Burns. We know how special he is. I think he's actually become underrated at this point. Dexter Lawrence is someone that I don't think I really need to say much about. I think he's the best interior defensive lineman in the NFL, but got by a good bit. I think Kayvon Thibodeau is going to take a step in year 4. You sign Chauncey Golston in free agency. He's going to make plays for this team. You draft Darius Alexander as well, and you have Abdul Carter. This defense is going to be scary. And if the Giants want to do things that we think they can do and they haven't done in a couple of years, it's going to be because of these 5 guys on the screen. Before we talk about Russell Wilson and Jaxson Dart, I want to ask you this question. Who leads the team in sacks this year? Is it Burns, Thibodeau, Lawrence, Carter? Sound off for me in the comments section. Type the jersey number of the player you think will lead the team in sacks. Jalin Hyatt ended up leaving practice a little bit early today, had a lower leg injury where it looked like he just had to be stretched out on the sideline, and it was actually Bo Collins, the UDFA, that replaced him with the first team offense. Ended up catching a touchdown from Russell Wilson. Dan Duggan of The Athletic, go give him a follow and support him over there. He's crushing it on the Giants beat as always. Saying wide receiver Jalin Hyatt left a drill early in practice and is getting his left leg stretched by a trainer. He then spoke to Brian Dable, and it appears he is done for the day. And I think that's the way it should be. Look, if you get a cramp or something like that, just sit down. It's a mini camp. We're still a couple months away from real games and preseason being here. No need to push Hyatt. He's had a great offseason and unfortunately got hurt today, but still excited about what he's going to do. I don't think this is anything to be worried about. Russell Wilson supposedly lit it up at Giants practice today. Connor Hughes again saying he just threw a gorgeous pass at Theo Johnson for a touchdown in the corner of the end zone. Dropped it right in his hands. One of those patented moon balls where he did beat Tyler Newman. And while that's awesome for Russell Wilson, it's also good to see Theo Johnson getting open and making plays for this offense. He's going to be a key piece in this really just pass catcher group. He's going to be that starting tight end, and the Giants need him to play well. 4th-round pick last year, going into his second year. They need to see some production coming from him. And with a guy like Russ, I think that's going to be something that we're going to end up seeing. What was noteworthy to me coming out of practice was Jaxson Dart didn't get any reps with the first-team offense. And honestly, I don't think he should. I think Russell Wilson should get every rep. He's the clear-cut starter, and he needs all of those reps under his belt as he is still learning a new offense. Some stats for the Giants. As we know, Dart didn't work in the first-team period. In the red zone, he worked second in the rest of the team periods behind Russell Wilson. Russ, 9 of 13, 2 touchdowns. Jaxson Dart, 9 of 11 with a touchdown. James Winston, 7 of 13, 2 touchdowns. And Tommy DeVito went 0 for 1. So you can kind of see the way the reps are being split. We're going to do a video later on the channel this week. Jordan Renan on his podcast, shout out to him, pretty much said that Jaxson Dart's going to be the second-team quarterback. We'll talk about that later on the channel. That's why you subscribe. We're not saying, though, Dart finished minicamp practice with a 25-yard dart deep down the right sideline to Jalin Cambry, the UDFA wide receiver, for a touchdown, and he strutted confidently to the sideline afterwards. Some swag coming from Dart. You love to see it, making plays and throwing the ball downfield. And there was another one where I saw where he rolled to the left. He threw it in the back of the end zone as well. I think it would have been a sack a lot of time, but he showed that he can make plays on the move, and he's got the arm to put it on any part of the field. Couple more things to talk about when it comes to Malik Nabers and Andrew Thomas, who did not practice. But if you go to chatsports.com/Nike t-shirt, you're going to get this Giants Nike t-shirt on sale. It was $39.99. Now it's $27.99. So save a couple of bucks. Get some swag ready for the NFL season. Nike Giants gear. It doesn't get much better than that. Just go to this link, chatsports.com/Nike t-shirt. That link will be clickable down in the comments and description of today's show. Andrew Thomas and Malik Nabers have not been practicing or didn't do anything at OTAs, and they also didn't really do anything at minicamp as well. Brian Daboll kind of just keeps on saying we're going to be smart with these guys, and I don't mind it, and I'm not officially worried about Malik Nabers, but I'm not really thrilled that he's got a toe injury that continues to bother him. And look, let's just be honest. If Thomas and Nabers get hurt this year, the season is lost anyway. So I don't mind keeping them in bubble wrap, but I'd probably rather have them practicing than not practicing. I'm a little bit pessimistic with the Giants and their injuries, so we'll see. I'm not worried yet, but I'm also not thrilled that they haven't been able to go this offseason. What we did see in repercussion to Andrew Thomas not practicing was rookie offensive lineman Marcus Bowe working out at the left tackle spot. We were told by Brian Daboll he's going to be a right tackle. Then we were kind of told by other people that he was going to play some inside guard. And then he was playing a little bit of both, and he was actually working at left tackle with the first-team offense today. Got reps with the first team and second team. Good to see from Bowe. I'm impressed with him. Sounds like he's already winning people over inside the building, and he might be playing a little bit sooner than we initially anticipated when it kind of seemed like he was just going to be a backup and trying to get the training wheels off this offseason. The Giants also had 4 players try out for the team at minicamp today. That will continue tomorrow. Millard Bradford, the safety, Kenny Dyson Jr., the defensive end, Carter O'Donnell, the offensive tackle, and Kayvon Wallace, the safety. He spent some time with the Seattle Seahawks, probably the most name-worthy or recognizable name of this group. We'll see if any of these guys ended up making the roster. The Giants are also a couple more minicamp practices before they depart for training camp and have about a 5-week off vacation. If you want another video like this tomorrow, hit that thumbs up icon. I'm trying to show Tom Downey that he's a fraud. So if you could, please hit that thumbs up icon and give me a follow on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram @MarshallGreen_.